Okay then, mate. So my next one, Scorpions, Blackout.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this was such as well an improvement on the album before. I was a bit disappointed in Animal Magnetism, especially at the time. And I just think, especially after Love Drive as well, and I just think Blackout. I mean, man, they still play it now, don't they? I think, what an amazing song. What an amazing song to sing, to play live, and don't you love that little bit of glass smashing at the end? And, it's great, man. I just love Scorpions, man. That period from, I think, 79 was it, Love Drive, up until probably Savage Amusement, were just amazing. They were just an amazing band. Blackout's a great opening track.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
All right. This is a fairly recent one. Sorcerer.
Yeah.
I think you like this song.
Yeah.
Album's called Lamenting of the Innocent. Starts off with a little instrumental atmospheric track called Persecution. And then it leads into a track called The Hammer of Witches.
Yeah, it's a great song, man.
So heavy. Definitely got a Sabbathy vibe. Some people have kind of compared it to the Tony Martin era of Sabbath. And I can see similarities. I don't remember the guy's name, but his voice kind of similar to Tony Martin's, and just the subject matter kind of fits in with like Headless Cross. But yeah,
great band. Definitely check them out, everyone, on this channel. They're brilliant, man. Like a good find from you for me, mate. You recommended them to me. Great band.
Yeah, I know you like the chorus.
Yeah, it's great.
Very catchy.
It is. Okay, I'm probably going for one of the people. If I didn't put this on here, and it is a great song, by the way, and not one of my favourite bands, by the way, but a band that isn't. I know I'll probably get a lot of stick for this, for saying that I don't like them that much, but this is just a mental, amazing song, and that's Judas Priest and Painkiller.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deny that song. That is just mental. The amount of guitaring that goes on in that song.
Yeah.
I've always said, we speak about, don't we? If you ever had to explain to anyone who didn't know anything about metal, there's a few songs where you go, well, you put that on. I think Painkiller's got to be one of them. It's just relentless, isn't it? It's just, I mean, main reason I don't like Priest is because of Halford, and I know that's a sin. I know that, but it's a matter of fact. It's just taste, isn't it?
Yep.
And I just don't like the guy's tone, but I think those higher, I think he suffers when he goes lower on his tone, but this is obviously Painkiller's all like, it's up there, isn't it? But that song is just mental. It's absolutely mental. I love it. It's the best song by Priest, in my opinion.
Yeah, you and I may be two of the only metalheads. I appreciate Judas Priest. There are certain songs by them that I really do like. My favorite Priest song is probably Turbo, or Turbo Lover rather, from the Turbo album. And I know that album, is
so you're going to get more stick than me now.
Yeah. I know that is considered one of their weaker albums. But that song, I really do like that song. And like I said, I appreciate what they do. But his voice, I'm exactly the same as you. His voice just does not resonate with me. Some people compare him with, or like to lump him in with Bruce Dickinson. But I'll take Dickinson any day over Halford.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. That is. But
I appreciate them for what they've done, and but yeah, I'm not the biggest Priest fan in the world either.
Okay then, mate, you'll go.
Okay, I'm going to Cinderella from Long Cold Winter, Bad Seamstress Blues. I love those especially first two Cinderella albums. They kind of lost me after that. I probably prefer this album actually a little bit over the first one. But that song, again, just a great way to kick off an album.
I nearly put Night Songs on my list.
Yeah.
nearly. I was toying with Night Songs. What a great stomping track that is.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I like the first album the best. And I know that second album's considered to be their best album. I know that. But the first one was always the best for me.
They're pretty close.
Yeah. What about?
I vividly remember when they first hit MTV. I always thought he had a voice similar to Brian Johnson.
Yeah, definitely.
In that same.
Yeah.
Not a great singing voice like a Dio or a Glenn Hughes, but for the type of music, it fit perfectly. And
yeah, no, it's a great choice, mate. Okay, I'm going a bit later on now. Later on, man. This is 30 years ago. What's the matter with me? Alice in Chains, We Die Young.
Has it been 30 years?
Yeah. 31. Oh, man. Why am I talking about it like it was yesterday? Anyway, We Die Young, Alice in Chains, man. I mean, we talked, didn't we, on our debut show about that? They're Near Enough Metal. That is a metal song, isn't it? Man. What a great video as well. I mean, like a really creepy sort of horror sort of video. I was really toying with this one. I didn't want to choose too many by the same bands. I was really toying with this one. And Dirt, the opening track to the Dirt album. I was trying to put Them Bones. Them Bones. You know, but We Die Young is just full on metal. Just the right speed for me for a song, makes it even heavier.
Yeah.
What a great song, man. We Die Young. That's my next one.
God, it's hard to believe it's been that long.
I know. Oh, man. Oh.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to go to Wasp from The Last Command, Wild Child.
Oh, man, I love that song. I love that song.
It's my favorite. I'm a huge Wasp fan. I love everything they've done for the most part. Well, there's been a couple albums I didn't care for, but this is by far my favorite album. This is another one that you talk about albums that impacted your life. I said it earlier with Invasion of Your Privacy, or Privacy, as you would say. The Last Command is right in there.
Yeah, I love that album.
Memories from my mid-teens associated with that album. And,
well,
that's their best album.
I'm going to jump my list a bit because I've got a Wasp song as well.
Okay.
I Want to Be Somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. And how heavy is that track?
Yeah.
So much energy in that song and throughout that album, really. Such a loud album, that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
But that I Want to Be Somebody's got all the energy you could need from a song. It's just like chugs along. So, man, it's a brilliant track. But I knew you was going to choose a Wasp song. I thought it was I Want to Be Somebody, to tell you the truth. But Wild Child is another favourite of mine. So it's a great choice, man. Okay.
Let's see here. Are you up? Your turn. Yeah, your turn.
No.
Right. You just hammer.
I jumped in on the other one.
All right. I'm going to go to the second Blue Murder album called Nothing But Trouble. Opening track's called We All Fall Down. He had a different lineup on this album that he did on the debut album. I'll say it again. Blue Murder should have been much bigger than they were. I saw them live. I actually saw them live twice. They opened. I don't remember who I saw them open for in the '80s, and then I saw them at a club when they were touring this album in 92, 93. And just John Sykes is just a beast on the guitar. And I actually got to meet him after the show and had him autograph my
nice.
The cassette at the time, had him autograph the insert. He just stood there and he talked as long as fans wanted to come up and talk to him. Just a hell of a nice guy. Love Blue Murder. And that opening track, they had a good video for it. It's a pedal to the metal. I don't know if you remember the song or are familiar with it, but you'd like it.
I've got
Neon Nights kind of pace, that type of fast.
Those Blue Murder albums, I mean, I did hear them, like, you know, when they came out, but I've recently put them on my Spotify, so they're just getting round to hearing them again. But yeah, I didn't really get into them back then for some reason, but I've listened to some of it recently, and I can see, you know, where you're coming from, mate, without a doubt. Okay, so Iron Maiden, Where Eagles Dare. Oh, peace of mind, man. What an amazing song. I mean, that was like that drum roll at the beginning, Nico McBrain. And it goes into that song, and it's got so many twists and turns. Obviously, Bruce Dickinson's voice in that is absolutely amazing. I love the little bits of gunfire and that in that song. The machine guns going. They sound ridiculous, but it was still cool. That's such an epic song to open with. Just an amazing. But I've got a bad one as well for them. I mean, I could have chosen some other off the worst albums, but I thought I've chosen it off a brilliant album. Just quite a bad song for the album. That's Invaders off of Number of the Beast.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I could have chosen other Iron Maiden songs as a worse opener.
Yeah.
But what an album Number of the Beast was, and it was just that song. That and Gangland, I think, was a bit disappointing on that album. But Where Eagles Dare, man, is Bruce Dickinson ain't going to watch this video anyway, is he?
Probably.
So there you go. All right, then, mate. Okay.
All right. We go to Quiet Riot. The Terrified album. This came out, I believe, it was '93. Song's called Cold Day in Hell. Starts off, sounds a lot. It's got a drum intro that sounds a lot like what Cozy Powell did on Headless Cross. In fact, when I first heard it, I remember thinking, are they getting ready to cover Headless Cross? Because it's very similar type of drum intro. But the song, excellent song. The sad thing is half of this band now is now deceased. Actually, saw them on this tour back in '93, and they were great. The bass player at the time, his name was Kenny Hillary. He died a number of years ago. Actually, 3/4 of this band is already dead. Frankie Manali just died this past year. Of course, Kevin DeBro died back in, I think it was '07. The only surviving member that recorded this album was Carlos Cavazo. That's very bad to think about. But, very underrated Quiet Riot album. Great way to open it. I'll throw out a bad one. The follow-up album called Down to the Bone, and it had the opening track was called Dig, like dig a hole, and it just didn't go anywhere. This album did not compare to this one at all. And just not a great song, and I thought a pretty weak way to open up that album.
Good choices, mate. Good choice. Okay, I'm going Sabotage, the Gutter Ballet album, and Of Rage and War. So I've got two favourite Sabotage albums, Hall of the Mountain King and Gutter Ballet. I just think they're absolutely brilliant. Of Rage and War is just so menacing, man. And I think John Oliver, is the singer.
Yeah.
I think that's his name. There's a brother, isn't there? And then him as well. Such a menacing voice. Such a menacing. I mean, he had a bit of a one-of-a-kind voice as well. You know, you talk about character in vocalists. You know, you've got we talk about Matt Barlow, didn't we, of Ice to Earth, and they've got certain sound. He had that. John Oliver, he still has, obviously. His brother's obviously passed away. I think he had an accident. But man, he's my favourite vocalist of Sabotage, and then that Of Rage and War is just menacing. Just menacing, man. Just brilliant. What an excellent opener. Okay, mate, you're up.
I'm going to go to the Queensryche self-titled album. First one was Todd, Where Dreams Go to Die.
I like that track.
That's actually my favorite song of the current lineup. And when I first heard that, I said, man, they have really captured that classic Queensryche sound.
Yeah.
The last 4 or 5 albums I'd have to count that they did with Jeff Tate were just not good albums. When Tate was ousted from the band, they brought Todd in. I mean, he's kind of like Dio. He breathed new life into that band and took them to where they needed to go. Very, like I said, very classic sounding Queensryche song. Great way to open that album.
Yeah, we got all these Jeff Tate fans that were moaning during that bad period who still won't accept Todd LaTorra, probably.
Yeah, go figure.
It's just like, what? You wanted, this is what you wanted.
Right.
There's, I think a lot of them have come round as well. Todd LaTorra has obviously been accepted, and so he should be by a lot of fans, but there's still some out there. And I read on posts on Facebook, it's not the same without Jeff Tate. Rage for Order, Empire, Operation Mindcrime, Warning, of course, they would probably never be beaten, probably. Right. But you're getting the next best thing to it.
Yeah. Sure.
Getting wound up again now. Okay, I'm gonna go Y&T and Mean Streak off of that Mean Streak album, man. I love Y&T, one of the bands that nearly made it. They were on the cusp again, weren't they? No. They've got a big fan base, or a loyal fan base, that love them, absolutely love them, and they're still going now. Haven't brought out any music for quite a while. But Dave Meniketti, man, on that guitar, his vocals are just absolutely amazing. What a rocking track. Do you like a bit of Y&T, mate? I don't think I know. We haven't really talked about them.
They've never really been on my radar. I mean, I know of them. I'm familiar with them. I've got a couple of friends that were big into them back in the day, but they never had any radio play. I don't know if they had any MTV videos back in the day. I never really was exposed to them too much, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm familiar with him. I know he's one of those triple threat, great singer and great guitarist kind of guys. But I never really had the opportunity to experience them too much, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, they're not for everyone again, are they? But I mean, they've sort of flirted with different sorts of music. They went very commercial in the 80s. That was my favourite part of them. They was very commercial, but they're very rocking at times as well. But Mean Streak's a great song. Anyway, there you go, mate. Your next one.
Okay, I'm going to Grim Reaper, Rock You to Hell. That's the name of the album and the opening track. Grim Reaper was one of those bands that got kind of slagged by Beavis and Butthead back in the day. And I think it kind of hurt their image a little bit, but they were a great British band that kind of that Sabbathy vibe, especially on the first 2 albums. They got more commercial on this one, but that's just a blistering opening track, Rock You to Hell.
Them 2 little pricks have got a lot to answer for, haven't they? Hey, fuck.
I actually love Beavis and Butthead. To this day, I like to pull up some of the old shows on YouTube and just relive my past.
Okay, mate, I'm going to a band that's sort of more enough got a cult status as well. So, Crimson Glory and the Transcendence album and Lady of Winter was the opening track. So this album is like a prog metal album that's sort of hailed as one of the best prog metal albums ever, but I don't know how well it done at the time. It was 1988, so it's coming to the end of that sort of metal era, if you like, but obviously big similarities to Queensryche, but this Transcendence album, it's just one of the best albums ever. It's one of them again, track after track, no weak tracks, amazing album, ahead of their time, I suppose, but slated a lot for sounding like Queensryche. But Midnight, the singer, who's another one who's passed away, he had one of them voices, man, that would just go to the heavens. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, and so much feeling in his voice as well. Todd LaTorra sang for him for a little while, didn't he? But
did he record an album with them?
Sadly not. They brought out one song, and it's actually a demo, but it's properly recorded and it's great. I can't remember, it's something to do with Garden of Shadows or something like that it's called. And it's a great song. I've only heard it the other day for the first time, and it just shows you what you would have got. One of them big disappointments for me, but obviously joined Queensryche. What more do I want? So there you go.
It all worked out for the best.
Yeah, exactly. Okay then, mate. Let me tell you how many more I've got. 4.
All right, let's see here. Okay, I'm good with that.
And obviously a couple of bad ones I've got to mention.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, my turn?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to my favorite Blue Oyster Cult album called Heaven Forbid. It opens with their heaviest track ever. Got to be their heaviest track. It's called See You in Black. Blue Oyster Cult's music has varied a lot over the years. Some of their early stuff was kind of psychedelic, trippy. You know, of course, they're both best known for Don't Fear the Reaper and Burning for You, Godzilla. Probably their 3 best known tracks. And they've done a lot of different types of music over the years. This album, especially that song, is pure metal. A couple of the songs on here aren't really considered metal, but my favorite album, and that's a blistering way to open that track. First album they had done in a number of years, and it's a great way to open that album.
Just a quick one, mate. Just a side note. Do you like their new album that came out? Is it last
year? There's a couple of, I'm about 50-50 on it. Half of it I really like, half of it I don't. And that's kind of typical. There's only, I think there's 2 songs on here I don't really care for. Most of their albums are kind of
half and half.
Yeah, half of it I love, half of it I could take it or leave it. The new album, there are a couple of really heavy songs on it. Some of it's, again, kind of in that trippy direction. But yeah, Buck Dharma is one of my favorite guitarists. I actually got to see him the last concert I got to see before COVID screwed everything up. It was October of 2019. I got to see Blue Oyster Cult. It's a great show. And Buck Dharma, after I left that show that night, I told my wife, I said, I will never again discuss great guitar players without mentioning Buck Dharma.
He done a bit on the Hearing Aid album as well, song as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I know he did. Yeah. He's a little short guy, kind of about Dio's height.
Looked like Dudley Moore.
I hadn't thought about it. Yeah.
But yeah, I tell you what, that I remember I had the video of Stars Hearing Aid, and they had the extended guitars, and it's about a 10-minute guitar solo, and they was all taking a turn. And what was cool about his guitar solo was it was completely different than anyone else's. It was like very bluesy.
Yeah.
But in between all that metallic metal guitar, and it sounded really cool. It gave something different. But I know we're going off subject, but my favorite guitar part in that actual song, and I know there's some great ones, got George Lynch, Vivian Campbell, Iron Maiden, all those, great guitarists. My favorite guitar solo, and it's the most simple one, but the most effective, had the most melody, the Twisted Sister part in it.
Okay, cool.
If you get a chance to have a listen to the old extended version, because I don't think it's on the single version.
Okay, I will.
He just does a really simple melody, and it's the most effective for me, easily. But cool. There you go. That's why I'm not always into the speed thing. I like a nice melody in a song.
Yeah.
Went way off subject there. Sorry, mate. But anyway, right, I'm going German metal now. Accept and Metal Heart, 1985.
Yeah.
So man, this was my favorite. This is actually my favorite Accept album. I think it was, the new ones. I love the new ones, but this was easily my favorite. They went a little bit more commercial on this, but Metal Heart is just so German. It's absolutely brilliant. And they had that part, which I love it when they do it, man. They have a bit of classical music. They play some sort of symphony in it at the end of the solo, man. It's just great. I don't know, it's a Beethoven type one, but I love it when they do it. They've got a proper sense of humor as well, and I love that about them. It's like them saying, we're Germans, especially back then, people thought the Germans having no sense of humour, you know.
Right.
But they definitely have got one. I think they're a great band. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
Metal Heart, mate.
Wolf Hoffman, he's another
Oh yeah.
incredibly underrated guitarist, and he was definitely influenced by the old classic stuff.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Great player.
Okay.
All right, this is kind of an unknown one. I think you might know it. Taiketo, band that kind of made a brief splash back in the day. The album's called Don't Come Easy. The opening track's called Forever Young.
Yeah, I did a reaction to that. I'd never heard the band before, and someone suggested it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved the song.
Very melodic, just a super catchy song. Danny Vaughn was the singer. He was also in Wasted. I don't remember if it was before or after Taiketo. Probably before. Anyway, great singer that, again, should have probably been a bigger name. Great song.
He's a great choice, mate. I love that song. Okay, this next one, mate, we've mentioned it in our debut albums, but it's Dave Lee Roth, Yankee Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Man, love it. Love the video. Love everything about it. It's just so fun, isn't it? That video, you can't help but smile at that, man.
Yeah.
It's just like the colours in that video and the energy in the song and Roth mucking about, and you know, such a great song to start the album with. Just really rocking. Love it. Absolutely love that album and love that song. What a great opener. Okay.
Yeah, he definitely he knew what people expected of him, and he gave them what they wanted.
Oh yeah. Okay, two more I've got.
All right, I'm gonna go Black Label Society, 1919 Eternal album, a song called Bleed for Me. Great song. I'm not the biggest fan of Zach's solo stuff. I saw him in concert a couple of years ago. He's a great player, but some of his stuff kind of is hit and miss with me. But I love that one.
It's almost like, I mean, I mentioned that the Down band before, and it's almost like he wants to be that band, but he's trying too hard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
You know, I mean, he's like the Southern stuff. He does it quite well, but I think he'd be better off just getting a really cool lead singer.
Yeah.
You know, because he's a great guitarist.
Yeah.
Probably does too much of that screeching, you know, the wow stuff.
Oh yeah.
He's just constant, isn't it? But he's a good guitarist. I saw him with Ozzy Osbourne at Download a couple of years ago, and he was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was absolutely brilliant. But okay then, mate. My next one, Me Against the World. Not actually Me Against the World, but the actual song off of Visual Lies, Lizzie Borden.
Yep.
What a great song, man. Just amazing album, amazing song, underrated guy, Lizzie Borden.
I should have picked that one.
Yes. Oh, man, it's a brilliant album. But what an excellent song to start with as well. Just rocking, amazing. There you go.
That's another one. It kicks in. It just goes to a whole nother.
Yeah.
To a whole nother level.
Yeah, excellent, mate. Okay.
All right. I'm actually going to throw two in with this one because it's the same band, and I may catch some flack for this. But Bon Jovi, from the debut album Runaway, love that song. And then from the Crush album, It's My Life. I don't care much about don't care too much about what Bon Jovi's doing these days. But back in the day, his first three albums especially, I don't mind admitting I was a big Bon Jovi fan.
So was I. I was as well, mate. I was as well.
They opened for Rat the first time I saw them. Very, very good live band. And back in the day, they were, I don't know if you want to consider them metal, but back in the day, they were lumped in, with Rat and Motley Crue. And I guess they were that hair metal, pop metal, whatever you call it. The first 3 albums, I thought were very good. And Runaway is still my favorite Bon Jovi song. And then they had really started to lose me by the time this came out. But I do love that one song, It's My Life. And that was a great way to open that album. And then I'll throw out one not so great one from New Jersey, Lay Your Hands on Me. It's not a bad song, just didn't really resonate with me. Again, they started to lose me at this point, going a little too pop direction.
Yeah, so they took a lot of stick for their second album, 7800 Degrees Fahrenheit. Because of the.
I like that one.
I honestly, especially the singles off of there, Hardest Parties of the Night. What a great song that is. And there's another one on there, Only Lonely. I love them songs, man.
I actually started to pick the opening track off of that one, which was In and Out.
In Our Love, yeah.
And that was probably their heaviest album, if you want to call anything Bon Jovi ever did heavy. That was probably the most metal album they did. I like that album.
It was good. Okay then, mate. My next one. In fact, it's my last one, I think. No, I'll tell you what, I've got 2 more now. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So my first one I'm going for is Still of the Night, Whitesnake. Obviously, this will be different maybe than your American version, I think. I think you had a different release over there. It was started with Crying in the Rain or something.
I don't remember the running order. I'd have to go find my CD to look. I don't remember which one it opened. I think ours opened with. No, maybe it was still. I'm having a hard time remembering. Yeah, I started to say Crying in the Rain. I'm not sure if that opened it or not.
I think it might have done. But Still of the Night, obviously in the UK version, it's just mad, that song. It's so epic for them as well, so different. That lovely little, I know it's not real violin as such, but that part in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
And then leading into that solo, man, it's just like, it's hairs on the back of the neck job, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant. Love that song, man. It's one of my top. I actually, from then on, even that album going forward, Whitesnake, I went off of them a little bit, and it was before that I like their more basic bluesier.
Yeah.
Unbelievably for me, that was the best part, because I think it was Coverdale's voice just suited it.
Sure.
Just down to the ground, but great song though, Still of the Night, mate. Okay.
All right. Let's see. I've got one more good one, and then I've got a couple of not so great ones. I'm going to go back to Sorcerer. This is, I don't remember what year this one came out, but anyway, the album was called In the Shadow of the Inverted Cross. Very, very metal.
Yes.
The opening track is called Dark Power of the Sorcerer. Another real heavy, doomy, Sabbathy kind of track. These guys they do that type of metal so well. They should be a bigger name than they are.
The weird thing about them as well is you're right, they've got a doomy sound, but it's not doom metal, is it? It's metal, but they've got a slight doomy sound. They mix it up so well, man.
Traditional metal, that's my label for it. I've got labels for every genre and subgenre, but I call it traditional, Sabbathy kind of vibe.
Yeah, good one, mate. Good one.
I've got 2 not so great ones. You want me to do them now, or wait till you get?
Yeah, we'll do the bad ones together. Make us feel better.
All right, go ahead.
But what I have got though, I've got a good one and a bad one for this actual band. So the good one is Battery, Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, I never used to like that song when I was younger, because I wasn't into the thrash stuff. So I veered more towards, Welcome Home Sanitarium off of that, and Orion, those songs. But now, I don't know why, that song is just fucking brilliant. My favourite off that album is Disposable Heroes.
Okay.
But Battery, man, that's just mental, isn't it, that song? What an excellent little acoustic bit at the beginning as well. But my bad one and it's a bad album as well, is St. Anger.
Wow.
What happened there? But I mean, I know it was sort of like that drum sound. I mean, everyone was, even Striper had a bad drum sound at that time.
Yeah.
You know, like hollow. I don't know what the fuck it was, but they had the worst one out of all them bands.
You know, like they were hitting on pots and pans.
That's all you heard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, what a shit! What a bad. And the song might not even be that bad, but the production just like.
Well, what I was going to say is it really doesn't matter what song they had put first because they all suck.
Yeah, you're right there.
I think I have listened to that album in its entirety twice.
Yeah.
I bought it, I listened to it, I was like, my God, this is terrible. I kind of threw it to the side. I came back to it a year later probably and said, all right, I'm going to give it another listen. It can't be as bad as I thought it was, but it was. It was just as bad as I remembered it. And it's a terrible album.
It's not good, man. Not good. Right. Are we just on to the slagging off now? Are we just on to putting everyone down?
And this one, I don't know if this is cheating because this is actually a live album, but the Heaven and Hell album from the live at Radio City Music Hall. Not that I dislike the song, but they opened that show with After All. After All Dead. It starts off with that E5150.
Yeah.
And you expect it to launch into Mob Rules or, you know, maybe TV Crimes or something more fast-paced. And it just starts off with this slow, doomy, you know, not a bad song from Dehumanizer, but not a great way to open a live show or a live album, in my opinion.
That's the perfect. I mean, I said at the beginning, didn't I? These might not be particularly bad songs. I love that song. I'm the same as you. But what a bad song to start at a concert as well.
Yeah. Just, and I don't know if that's actually what they really opened the show with, or if that's just when they mixed the album, assembled it, if that's just how they arranged them. But just kind of an odd way to start a live album or show.
Yeah, you're right.
My other one, and I really don't like this band anyway, but I'll throw it out there. Warrant, the Cherry Pie album, absolutely detest that song Cherry Pie. Absolutely hate it.
The singer didn't like it either.
There are two songs on this album I like. The only reason I even own it. They had a great ballad that I probably should have brought up in one of our ballad shows called I Saw Red. I'll give credit where credit's due. That was an amazing ballad. It's on this album, and then they had the faster paced one, Uncle Tom's Cabin. I like that song a lot. But that damn song, Cherry Pie, I think you said it not too long ago, the Janie Lane, you know, very well
fucked him up.
Might have killed himself over that song because that song just did not do him any favors.
No.
Hate the song.
Yeah, I don't blame it. Is that all your bad ones? It's difficult, isn't it, with bad ones? Because obviously it's the music we love. You're having a go, but it does happen. So an example of a good song that I quite like, but is a bad opener, is Going Home Tonight, White Lion.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that album wasn't really that heavy anyway. I know it was quite a bit lighter, I believe, than the one before it. And the one after. I like the albums either side. It wasn't my best. I think it's the Pride album, wasn't it? Not the best album they done by a long stretch. But that Going Home Tonight is just like, I don't know. Should have been.
That one was on. I think that was on Big Game, wasn't it?
Big Game. Sorry, Big Game.
The opening track on Pride was Hungry,
which was great. Sorry, yeah,
great.
I love that. I love that song.
Love that.
Yeah, you're right, because it was Fight to Survive, Pride, Big Game, Main Attraction, and then some other shit, Return of the Pride, whatever the fuck that was. But yeah, Going Home Tonight, man, just whimpered out, didn't it? It should have been like the fourth or fifth track or something.
Yep, I agree with you.
The next one is, this might upset a few people because I know it's a lot of people love this song, but it's probably my least favorite song on this album, and it didn't sound right at the beginning, and that's Changing the Weather from Psychotic Supper, Tesla.
Okay.
It just like, it was weird. It was like a sort of a southerny, I like southern music, but it was like strange for an opening track. You had on that album, you had Enough, which was a real, you just expect something like that. Just a weird opener. Not a bad track, but not brilliant either. And my last one's The Final Countdown.
Okay.
I mean, look, I understand it as a track. I just don't understand, they could have done Rock the Night, couldn't they? Rock the Night would have been a good opener.
Yeah.
But The Final Countdown, as an opening.
That might have been better as a closer, actually.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I can understand the live experience as well. I think either you or Darren said that. How good is it live? When you're there, I can understand. And I would be the same. I'd love it.
Yeah.
But, I think it's probably one of their weaker songs. But to put it at the beginning of the album as well, just didn't fit. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. There you go. Mate, that was hard work saying horrible things about bands you love. But yeah, it has to be done. It has to be done sometimes. But any last words from you, mate? It's been a great show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a blast. It was hard, there's some more I probably could come up with at least this many to do another show. But yeah, it's like everything we do is kind of hard to narrow down to
you're right.
manageable number of songs.
I mean, with them choosing those best songs, you're right. There's loads of ones that I really like, but I was trying to choose the ones that really impacted me, at the time and still do. And mad. Anyway, thanks for joining me, man.
Yep.
And of course, we'll get together very soon. All right.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Of course, everyone else leave their comments below. What's your favourite album openers? You're bound to disagree with some of our, ones, but there you go. Loads of comments, please, guys. I love it. I'll see you next time.
Cheers.